Okay. Good morning again, everyone. Today is February 10th, 2026, and this is our second public health and safety meeting of the year. For roll call, I am here. Kelly,
I'm here.
Present.
Brandon. Okay. So Brandon is a new member of the committee, so this is his first meeting today. So, can I get an approval for our January 13, 2026 meeting?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So that is dispensed with. So the item number 4 is selection of committee chair by the executive department.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Paul Simmons. For the record, I'm the new city administrator here in Tumwater, and before you this morning, we are here to elect the new a chair for Public Health and Safety Committee. So, just I'll put it out there. I haven't been through this process before, so if there's a formal process I'm missing, let me know. But otherwise, if not, what I was thinking is we'll just call to see if there's any nominations for anyone else to run for chair or themselves.
Does for one second, does anyone hear echo in the background?
Yeah, Paul, your audio kind of cut out there. It was
Okay.
weird for a second.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Sorry about that. I hear it. I've heard that happens with Zoom. I'm gonna try and find some headphones. How about if I lean in, does that help?
It's
No,
the dominant.
does not help.
That was
Yeah.
worse. Back
Okay.
up, back away from the mic. No.
How about now?
Perfect.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
better.
still working. Yeah.
Okay, I found the sweet spot. I'm not gonna move.
Okay.
Okay, what I was saying was this is my first time doing this process. So if there's a formal step or some past practice, I apologize for not being familiar with that. But just are there any nominations of anyone who has interest in being chair this year?
I'd like to nominate Kelly Von Holtz.
So, as the returning chair, I'd like to nominate myself.
Okay. So we have two nominations. Do we want to have any discussion?
I think we take a vote.
You want to take a vote? Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll first vote on Mayor Pro Tem Von
Doesn't
Holtz.
Kelly need to accept the nomination too?
Oh,
She has a
yes, thank you,
choice to
Brandon.
turn it down as well. I don't know.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Von Holtz, do you
I'm
accept
new
the
at this.
nomination?
I'm new at this too. I'll accept.
Very good. And then Councilmember Agabi, I assume since you self-nominated, you accept your own self-nomination?
Yes.
Very good. Okay. So we can move to a vote. We'll start since Mayor Pro Tem Von Holtz was nominated first. We'll start there. I believe once we have two votes, we'll have our chair. Those in favor of Mayor Pro Tem Von Holtz for chair of this committee, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, so that's 2-1. So I think Mayor Pro Tem Von Holtz will now be the chair of the committee moving forward. And then the next item that is also part of this, which is a discussion, I'll kick over to you, Mayor Pro Tem Von Holtz, is just to confirm the meeting time that we want for this committee, which is currently set at the second Tuesday at 8 a.m. And so I'll let you facilitate if you want to discuss.
Okay.
Maintaining that or transitioning.
Does that still work for Councilmember Agabi and Councilmember Whedon? 8 a.m.
Well,
Tuesday.
well, today is going to be my last membership in this committee. I have better things to do with my time, so I'm moving on.
Okay. Brandon, does that work for you?
Tuesdays are great for me. Yeah.
Okay. Then
As long
we'll
as
remain the
you're
same.
okay on the time and everything, that's great with me.
Yeah. Nope, it works for me. Okay. Well, I guess then We will move on to item number 5, interlocal agreement with Thurston County for emergency management. And I believe Chief Hurley, this is you, and we have a couple of guests that you would like to introduce.
Yes, thank you, council members, and thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Today, we're here to talk about an interlocal agreement with the county for emergency management. So I'll start off by introducing our guests. Ben Miller-Todd is the Director of Emergency Services for the county, which oversees Medic One and emergency management. And Kyle Bustad is the emergency management manager for the county. So I guess let's just go ahead and get into the presentation and certainly give our guests a chance to speak throughout this presentation as well. But I just want to go ahead and share my screen and get started today. And we will share. Okay. Are we sharing okay with that? Great. Okay. Well, we're here today to talk about an agreement with the county for emergency management services. And I just want to start off with the big picture of the framework of emergency management, and then get into a little bit about the city's responsibilities and how this partnership with the county we're recommending. Just for background, emergency management has a nationwide framework. We really work off of a number of laws at the federal level for emergency management, and really the phases surround mitigating impacts, so reducing risk, certainly preparedness for different types of emergencies, which includes considerable planning, training, exercises. We oftentimes tend to focus on response. We think about if there's an emergency, how we respond to that, but that's really just one piece of that framework. And then recovery, which oftentimes is a months to years long process after disasters, so we can support our community and businesses in recovering from disasters. Our municipal code has a section on emergency management services, and certainly you can take a look at that. But really, I just wanted to focus on a couple items today, which really talk about the duties of the Director of Emergency Management. And in the city, that really lies with the city administrator. And then through the comprehensive plan, many of those responsibilities are delegated to the fire chief as well. But I just highlighted a few things here that we're required to do as a city. Coordinate emergency efforts during mitigation, preparation, and response, so that framework. Highlighted to develop and execute plans. Every 5 years, we need to update our comprehensive emergency management plan and how we prepare for and respond to and recover from emergencies. And that plan needs to be reviewed annually. It's really with the state. It's updated every 5 years. So we do have requirements that we need to meet. The agreement was in the packet, so I don't want to read through every detail of that for you, but I just wanted to highlight a few things and then invite representatives from the county to speak to this a little bit as well. As far as deliverables and our program here in the city, just as a little bit of background, we do have an emergency management committee here in the city, which is made up of department directors and key staff to support our efforts. The committee tries to meet monthly to train and help us be more prepared for emergencies, but it's a challenge, and that's why we're looking for some support in that. So what the agreement speaks to as far as deliverables for the county, they'll support us with our planning efforts. They're going to help provide emergency management training as needed for our staff and elected officials as well here in the city, and certainly provide outreach to the community as well. Mitigation support helps us develop and maintain those plans. Response support, there will be access. The county has a 24-hour duty officer if we do have some type of emergency, a resource to help us stand up whatever response is needed to that emergency. We also have, and I think some of you have been to the county's Emergency Coordination Center on Tilley Road, next to the shop there. Really state-of-the-art facility for emergency management coordination efforts here in the county. And we will help staff that basically if we have an emergency here in Tumwater. Also, to provide support, which the county already does for us with alerting. If we ever needed to send out emergency alerts related to a disaster or emergency, the county would support us in that. Recovery support, it's oftentimes forgotten that with these emergencies, there is a long-term recovery effort involving numerous federal programs, public assistance programs, programs where the city will submit for support if we have facilities that are damaged, and they will help coordinate those efforts. As far as the city's responsibilities, we will appoint somebody as the Director of Emergency Management who will coordinate with the county in these efforts. We'll participate in planning, and we'll also help manage grants received by the city, pass-through grants received from the city by the county. So we'll help manage those grants as they come up. We'll coordinate mitigation support with the county, identify our hazards and help us address those. Response support, I think Kyle will touch on that here more in a minute in his comments, but during an event, we will work directly with the county. We could have a representative at the county's emergency coordination center, or if we decide to stand up an emergency operations center here in the city, the county will provide support for that. As far as recovery support, damage assessments, applying for assistance, the county will help coordinate that effort. The agreement we're speaking to is a 5-year term. There is a termination notice of 90 days for either party. The compensation to the county is $80,000 per year, which will be adjusted by a CPI or actual operating costs, whichever is less. And the city, we have budgeted for this in this biennium. We did not expend the funds in 2025, but we had budgeted $70,000 each year. And again, those funds were not expended in 2025. So we do have the funding in place for this. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Kyle Bustad. And Kyle is the emergency management manager for the county. And Ben Miller Todd, again, if Ben has some comments here, please add those as well. So Kyle, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'll keep the slides up though.
All right, thanks, Chief. Hey, good morning, Kyle Bustad. As Chief said, I am the manager for Thurston County Emergency Management. Lovely to be here this morning, and I appreciate this opportunity. We're super excited about it. My team is excited about it. I guess in short, what this agreement does is it provides the city with professional emergency management planning capabilities, a depth of staffing, and regional coordination at a predictable cost, while also preserving local authority and your own decision-making. So our role is to support your decision-making, your coordinated resources, provide coordinated resources, and help you maintain situational awareness. We are advisors and facilitators, not commanders of city operations. So we are proud to stand beside you as your emergency management partner. What this agreement does, it allows you immediate access to an experienced emergency management program. You'll have access to a 24/7 duty officer. So someone on our team is always on call and always answers the phone. We are continuously and constantly monitoring the weather and events that are happening not only in the county, but also on a regional effort so that we know what's happening and what's going on. And we stay real connected with our regional partners. And so you'll also have access to that situational awareness to make sure that you're up to date on what's going on. So as Chief said, a big part of this is supporting in planning efforts. So comprehensive emergency management plans can be overwhelming and intimidating at times. And we love those plans. And so it's always a great opportunity for us to do another one. And what's our support to the city on the Comprehensive Emergency Management Plan? It allows us to have full integration between the city and the county and the state. So super excited for this opportunity. Next slide, Chief. So for I guess who's in charge of an emergency is you will always be. You always retain your local authority. Our role is to support your decision making. Like I said before, to help coordinate resources and help you maintain situational awareness. We are advisors and facilitators. We're not in charge of city operations, but we do we will activate in support of anything that's going on, any disaster or emergency that's happening in the city. We can help you coordinate information and any resource needs that first responders may need on the scene. And we will be able to provide a connection to state emergency management and any of our regional partners. So I'll pause for just a moment if there are any questions. Okay, and then the next slide, the next slide is our organizational chart. This is, so you'll see EM manager. I report directly to Ben Miller-Todd, who he is the director of emergency services, so he gets to oversee Medic 1 and Thurston County Emergency Management. On the emergency management, in our emergency management division, we have an admin assistant, we have 5 coordinators, and each coordinator has their own niche and their own specialty. However, we build redundancy into our program so that there's not a single point of failure. So although there is one person that is on point for logistics and grants, all of us know a little bit about each subject so that if one person is out of the office or on vacation, we're still able to pick up the slack on any of the activities. So you'll see that we have a coordinator that's responsible for logistics, communications, and grants. We have a planning specialist, so their role is all things plans, and they love it. Which is great. And then we have a coordinator that half of their job is support to the Homeland Security Region 3, which is made up of 5 counties. It's made up of Thurston, Lewis, Mason, Grays, Harbor, and Pacific. And then the other half, this is the person that's going to support the city, and I'll come back around to that. And then we have another coordinator that is, her specialty is public outreach and preparedness. So getting community members, residents, businesses, organizations, nonprofits prepared for a disaster to take care of themselves during a disaster. So, and then the last one is our hazard mitigation and recovery specialist, who is responsible for all hazard mitigation planning and any kind of short-term and long-term recovery efforts. For this agreement, you'll have 2-point people, and that'll be actually 3-point people. You'll have the duty officer, but you'll also have an EM coordinator that you don't have to think about. If there's a question, you can call this coordinator and they will get you whatever answer you want or need. So if you want some preparedness materials or you're looking for just a general question in emergency management, the EM coordinator that's assigned to you would make it happen. And then also, because we are big on redundancy, you will have the duty officer, and then also I will be a point of contact as well. So yeah, I feel like that is all I got, and I'm happy to answer any questions, or unless Ben has anything else to add.
Ben,
I'll jump in here real quick. I just So I always lead off with Kyle because he always makes everything emergency management sound super flashy and exciting, and I absolutely love him for it. But that's also what you're getting is that energy behind an emergency management plan and throughout the county. It's also, as he pointed through all those individuals that you have access to, instead of saying you have one half of one FTE, specifically this person, it was doing a disservice to the city of Tumwater if we didn't just say, hey, we're just going to give you access to everybody and whatever the question is, you have an entire resource team at your disposal. And that seemed to be far more beneficial for both our operations and yours when there are some questions that pop up. Um, Additionally, I will call out and tout Kyle. He's also the president of WASEMA, which is the state's Washington State Emergency Management Association's council. And so with that, you also have he has been deep in the throes. For those of us that think that short sessions are easy, I firmly believe short sessions are super hard because everything's coming at you about double pace or half the time. And so Kyle has been super busy on that front, making sure that we have a structure and an infrastructure that supports and readily supports Washingtonians as a whole. And so when he's sitting there telling you, hey, we have these resources and a well-developed team, you can trust his background coming from both a Pierce County agency, from state agencies, from EMD background. He's done literally it all and has decided to make home Thurston County. And so we're excited to have him here and be the point person for this interlocal and this initiative.
Thank you so much. Kyle, you're near and dear to my heart because I am an emergency management nerd, so much so that I went after I was well established in my career and got my undergrad in emergency management. So I love this stuff. If you're ever looking for a volunteer for an exercise, call me.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Noted. I love that.
This
Do
is
we
So
great.
have
Ben and Kyle, can you tie the Thurston County management emergency management to the state system? As I recall, a year before COVID, there was there was an activation of that task force, and during COVID, there was also an activation of that task force. So now, being that Olympia is in Thurston County, what role would Olympia play in a state task force?
If I understand you correctly, what role do we have with the overall state system or how we interact with the state system? And then also, how does Olympia play into the overall emergency management system for Thurston County? Tumwater, Olympia, Lacey, and Yelm have an independent emergency management organization, which is why if we were going to act as your emergency manager, we have to do an interlocal agreement. It's the same way as Olympia. Olympia serves as an independent emergency management organization. If there are any requests, there's a saying in emergency management that all disasters are local. So if you exhaust all of your resources at the city level, you are not able to go directly to the state. They would tell you to go to the county to ask for resources. It's the same way for Olympia, that they would have to exhaust all of their city resources. And then for example, if they needed a bulldozer to remove debris from a pileup of a flood or whatever it is, and they just couldn't find a bulldozer, they couldn't ask the state directly for a bulldozer. The state would turn them away and tell them to go to the county. And so we would have to find a bulldozer for them. And if we were unable to find that bulldozer, we would then go to the state and say, hey, one of our jurisdictions needs a bulldozer. And then they would try to find it on the state level. And if they couldn't find that bulldozer on the state level, that's when they would ask the federal resource, like, hey, we have a city that needs a bulldozer. And then it trickles back down. It's the same way. Olympia is an independent organization, so they can only speak for the city of Olympia. It's in an awkward situation because, as you may know, we have the Capitol Campus, which is also this quasi independent organization that is run by the state. So actually, the city of Olympia does not have jurisdiction or emergency management oversight of the Capitol. However, we know that if something happens, God forbid, if there are a ton of state employees or visitors, guests at the Capitol, where are they going to go? And so it is going to be our responsibility to make sure that we are prepared for any large mass care services for visitors and workers that may be at the state capitol. So we are coordinating with the city of Olympia to make sure that we are preparing for any mass care services. So we are, the idea is that we are collaborative and we are coordinated. And so this is why we do routine meetings. And then hopefully we do plan, training, and exercise as a whole so that we are coordinated with the state. I hope that answers your question.
It does. So the follow-up would be in terms of a pandemic disease as such as COVID-19, what specific coordination would you do or have with the state or any entity surrounding you?
It would depend on the situation at hand. So we would coordinate logistical and resource supplies, for example, PPE or masks. We would help coordinate and facilitate any mass vaccination sites or care sites. So if we were doing mass care, if there were opportunities to drop supplies or medical needs, we would coordinate that through the state system. As the county, we would help coordinate that with the city for the city.
Thank you very much.
I think there's one other thing that actually this points out in terms of the interlocal. Another reason why we didn't specify a specific person for their time is that it's really a group, a coordinated or collaborative group that helps to respond to this. There are two emergency preparedness individuals that are embedded into public health as well. And so we coordinate readily and routinely with public health and their preparedness team so that in those events, in those cases, this also helps to support that response as well in terms of being that well coordinated and well greased, if you will, flow of information to help support our community.
Thank you.
Councilmember Von Holtz, I have a recommended action slide. If you would, I can share that.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Everybody here. Yeah. So today, this is what we're asking for. We would like to bring this agreement to the council meeting next week on consent.
Okay, is there any more discussion or questions, or would someone like to make a motion?
I got a question. Currently, I'm seeing that it's $80,000 a year starting this year. Is there any idea or history of where that can go? It does say that it can be adjusted yearly depending on basically how much it is used and everything else, but is there a cap or is there a projection moving forward if this is going to be a more expensive?
The way the agreement's written is basically we would be looking at CPI is what we'll plan on. But if the county, and please chime in here, Kyle or Ben, if the county sees that their costs didn't go up that much, it'd be the lesser of CPI or their actual operating costs. So it's like many of our agreements, they have built-in CPI escalators. So there's no cap, but it's a 5-year agreement. Would have to be renegotiated at that point.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, or would someone want to make a motion?
I'll move to put it onto the consent.
Second.
Okay, moved by Councilmember Whedon, seconded by Councilmember Agabi. Let's vote. All in favor? Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. All opposed, nay. Okay. This is
Great, thank you
passed.
very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you
you
very
being here.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ben and Kyle, for your time this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a
Okay.
pleasure.
Have a great Tuesday. All right. Next on the agenda, does anyone have any additional items? No? If not, we are adjourning at 8:30 on the dot. Have a great day, everyone. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.